William Lloyd Garrison was born in Massachusetts in December of 1805. As a child, he lived in poverty with his mother and two siblings after his father left the family when he was only 3. He worked hard to support his family, and he was later apprenticed to a shoemaker, a cabinet maker, and finally to the printer and editor of the Newbury Herald. This is where he began to develop strong feelings towards the end of slavery and wanted to make a change. He was recruited by a man named Benjamin Lundy, who owned an abolitionist newspaper known as the Genius of Universal Emancipation. Garrison helped Lundy edit and manage his newspaper so that Lundy was free to travel more as an anti-slavery speaker. This is when Garrison became determined to show the world his beliefs on slavery, and started by writing a column in the newspaper known as the Black List, which was devoted to printing stories of black kidnappings, whippings, and murders. After criticizing and writing about a merchant involved in slave trade, Garrison was charged and unable to pay his fines, landing him in jail. When he was finally released in June of 1830, he had more perseverance than ever to end slavery. Determined to make a change, he moved to Boston, where he started his own newspaper known as the Liberator. When the first issue was published, Garrison created a motto: "Our country is the world, our countrymen are mankind." Garrison's opinions were heard, and for more than 3 decades, Garrison spoke out against slavery and for the right of America's black inhabitants. Garrison used dramatic arguments called moral suasions to advocate for the immediate freedom and full political and social rights for African Americans. By 1840, over 150,000 people were part of abolition groups such as the American Anti-Slavery Society. Garrison had 2 main goals: the immediate emancipation of all slaves and citizenship for all African Americans. Garrison's views were not appreciated in the South, and the state of Georgia even offered $5,000 for his arrest and conviction. Some members of the Anti-Slavery Society, however, considered the organization to be too radical and began to wonder if Garrison was taking it too far. In 1854, at an anti-slavery rally in Massachusetts, Garrison created controversy for his followers by publicly burning a copy of the Constitution. On the outbreak of the American Civil War, Garrison abandoned his previous views and began to support Abraham Lincoln and the Union Army. He was critical of Lincoln for making the preservation of the Union rather than the abolition of slavery his main objective. But after the 13th Amendment was passed in 1865, Garrison decided to cease publication of the Liberator. He ended up spending his last 14 years campaigning for women's suffrage and temperance. William Lloyd Garrison died on May 24th in 1879 after a long life of fighting for his beliefs.